What does it take to be a member of the UVM men's soccer team? Skill, resiliency, and great cooking skills. Okay, I'm biased about the last one, but today on Across the Fence, I'm sitting down with two of my former students who just happen to be on the winningest team in UVM history to talk soccer, life lessons, and how cooking bring those two worlds together. Hello, Vermont. All right, well, trotting out all the cliches, the last 2 years of UVM men's soccer have been a fairy tale and a roller coaster. From being the Cinderella team of the 2024 season, winning the NCAA championship and becoming the only team in America East history to clinch a national title, to becoming just the third team in Catamount program history to win the America East regular season title and the conference title, before a devastating loss in overtime in their first game of the championship tournament. I bet you a lot of you were watching it. My guests today were there for every minute of it. Nash Barlow, number 12, and a junior studying nutrition and dietetics, is a midfielder on the UVM men's soccer team. Eric Bissell is the team's director of operations. Big job for a student, and a junior getting his degree in education and minoring in nutrition and dietetics. Nash and Eric, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Very fun to be here with you today, not in a kitchen. Last time we were all together, we were in a kitchen, so it's going to be fun to have this kind of a conversation without the stress of also managing food, cooking on the stove, etc. Okay, let me set the stage for folks at home, because some of you may not know that before I joined the Across the Fence, I taught in the foods lab of the Nutrition and Food Sciences department, teaching a class called Basic Concepts of Food. See, look, there we are right there. I've got my apron on, Nash and Eric right next to me. So this is how I know Nash and Eric. They were in my class the spring after the 2024 national championship win, along with the third member, Jeremy Sang, also a member of the team, couldn't be here today. Too bad. Hi, Jeremy. We're saying hi. Yes, okay, so basically, because of your majors and minors, you had to take my class, right?
Yeah.
And you were lab partners.
We were.
Kitchen one.
You were over there in Kitchen 1,
yeah.
yes. That was a very fun part of the class. So we have a lot to talk about, but let's start with the food side, because regardless of whether or not you had to take the class, you were both really interested in learning cooking skills. So why?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I came to the class with not much cooking experience, and I mean, I'd rather cook during school than go to a lecture. So for me, it was a no-brainer to be able to take a cooking class with, a guy like this. So yeah, it was really fun.
Did the three of you all talk about that before you signed up for the class, about taking it all together? Because when I got the roster and I was like, I got 3 soccer students, like 3 soccer team members in my class, I was surprised.
I think we might have.
Yeah, I think I said, yo, I'm taking a cooking class. I need you to be in this.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
And then, yeah, me and Jeremy are the same majors, so we're in a lot of classes together.
Yeah, so it tracked.
Yeah.
And then the two of you, I remember you lobbied a tiny bit to be lab partners, and you made a compelling argument. I think it was you that made the argument, Eric. Do you remember your argument?
I think it was, the argument was compelling. It was, we're going to miss a little bit, but we're going to miss together at the same time. So rather than have 2 groups miss, our partners would have ended up working together anyway when we missed. So it was like, hey, if we just miss together, we can make it up. We can communicate with you.
Why did you want to take the class, other than hanging out with your friends?
I mean, I'm a nutrition minor, like you said, and I think it's more just because I'm interested in learning about it for my personal. I don't actually want to teach it in terms of it's not related to my major. But yeah, I think I was just really interested in learning more, and I think a lot of the stuff I did learn, I've applied to my everyday life and thinking about when to eat what foods, and also how I'm cooking and the biggest thing I remember is the dicing the onion. I feel like every time I
dicing the onion. This is what everybody remembers about the class, but it is. It's a foundational skill, right? Yeah, and it makes you feel confident.
100%. I feel good. You can impress someone. Oh, watch this.
Yeah, exactly. You whip out that knife and you're like, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, dun, 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 dun. And it's easy. Yeah, okay, so Nash, I heard that you also ran a nutrition-focused Instagram account for a while.
Yeah.
So you were already putting the dots together between, food and athleticism, et cetera. Yeah, tell me about your account.
I started that a few months ago during the summer. I still have it. I post. It's hard with this last week with soccer and finals. It's been hard to get those videos out there. But NB Nutrition, if anyone wants to follow that. But yeah, I post videos. I try to do once a week, once every 2 weeks, and it's just about just my view on nutrition and how I've tried to fuel my body to be an athlete and try to help other people kind of learn more about it.
So the whole time that you were, because I know you were a big soccer player in high school as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you had to be, otherwise you would not have made it onto the UVM team. Were you always thinking about the role that food played in athletics for you?
I think my family, so I grew up pretty like strict with nutrition. I think my family is a
What does
pretty,
that mean, strict with nutrition?
like
in your family?
we were a very health focused family, and
Okay.
both my parents were like, my mom ran marathons, my dad was a big biker, so we
Okay.
I think I just grew up having good options in the house. But then during COVID, I really kind of started tracking all my meals and like really locked in on that because we had all that time off, and yeah, that kind of sparked my interest to like major in college, you know. So that was kind of like the next step during COVID, just learning about more about food.
And Eric, your family, you have a background in your family with diabetes, right?
Yeah, my mom, dad, and sister.
Your mom, dad,
All
and
have
sister.
type 1, yeah.
All have type 1. So that was, and you've worked in kitchens before.
A little bit, more of like kind of like during quarantine, just like I have nothing else to do. Let's just like mess around and find a recipe and cook. But yeah, I had done it in kitchens before.
Hadn't you worked in professional kitchens even too? Or did you just come in with so much like attitude that I was like, I think this guy has been
I
cooking?
think I was just confident. I think I was just confident. Yeah, I didn't, I enjoyed it, but like I never made anything. I might have like lied on accident. Like I never.
Well, you worked at the pizza place. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Okay, see, I'm not
sorry,
making.
sorry.
Okay, yes, all right.
you're
So I'm
right,
not
you're right.
making it up. He totally
I worked in a
snowed me
pizza
apparently.
restaurant for 4 years.
Okay.
So yes.
How do you forget 4 years of experience? Okay, all right. So you did.
Yes,
Well, okay. So
yes.
what did you learn basic concepts? Like, how did that connect with, like, say, what you were thinking about with your family?
I think the biggest thing that it connected with is like when to eat certain foods and how it affects like your energy, your blood sugar, just
Yeah.
like from the diabetes perspective, like high glycemic index, low glycemic index, like what foods are going to
Look
spike
at this guy,
it.
and he's only a minor. Well done.
Yeah, but like, so I think I had a okay understanding of that going into your class, and I would say leaving your class, I had a really good understanding of how that can like relate to my family, and I spoke with them and cooked for them a couple times,
Well,
like I
that's
said,
great.
on Mother's Day. And
Oh yeah, that's right. He made risotto for his mother for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
That makes me
So-
very, very happy.
And salmon.
And salmon.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Good meal. Are you still cooking, both of you? Like your schedules are pretty intense, working with the team. Is there time for cooking?
yeah, I live in a house with it's me and 6 other guys, teammates. So the kitchen sometimes is hard to get, but yeah, it's mostly like much more simple stuff like rice, meat, vegetables. It's not as fun as the stuff that we made in class, but yeah, we're still cooking.
But that's good. The point is that you're taking out the pans, you're finding some time.
Yeah.
You remember, it's all about organization. So even just thinking through how are you going to fit it in at the end of a day.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me happy. I'm good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this last season. It was another fairy tale, right? 29 undefeated games in a row, regular season and conference titles, #1 seed, defending your title in the NCAA tournament. Nash, this is you talking on Catamount Insider right before the tournament began. Let's take a look.
And, it's a new season, and I know it's cliche, like playoffs are a new year, but we were talking about it yesterday, and Coach Brad said the #1 seed only gives you one thing, and that's one home game guaranteed, So it's great. It's great we're the 1 seed. It's great we're undefeated. We also have a huge target on our back, and we haven't done the thing that we want to do the most yet, and that's win the national championship.
Yeah. I'm sorry, does that hurt? Now I'm
Yeah.
like doubting my decision to put that up there. So you're only guaranteed one home game. That like truer words. How are you guys handling the loss to Hofstra? How was the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I spent the last
Sorry, the energy in the room. Look at
No,
poor
it's
Eric.
okay.
He's like,
It's a tough one.
yeah, it is hard.
I spent the last couple weeks just thinking about like how we could have done it different and how we could have won the game or prepared a certain way, whatever, all those things that go through your head.
The replay.
Yeah, but it's kind of just, I've come to the conclusion that like that's how it goes in sports. Like you said, 29 games undefeated. We can't win 1,000 games in a row, like we play a sport at a high level, and sometimes in the game stuff happens, and unfortunately we were on the wrong end of that against Hofstra, but it doesn't change how we think about ourselves or the program, and next year I know we'll come back. And
It shouldn't,
Yeah.
right. Well, and I know that actually I was into thinking about this because I was reading up on your stats. So Hofstra earlier in the season had actually been a good game for you, right? That
Yeah.
was one of your first starts?
Yeah, that was my first start. Yeah, it was a good. Yeah, so I've played against that team and done well, and that was kind of like the game that kickstarted my season. Yeah, I had a good personal year, and yeah, just every time I think about it, I'm like, just but that's how sports goes. So.
It is how sports goes. I mean, that's part of what I guess as an athlete you get out of sports is the mental resiliency to deal with the fact that you can put in all the work, you can do everything right, and sometimes it comes out on top, and sometimes, it just doesn't happen. It's still heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I know we've had some games last year where we might have been playing like a higher seed than us, and we came out on top. The ball bounced our way, or these types of things, and to have it happen against us just hurts. But we'll be back. We'll be back.
How you doing, Eric?
Yeah, I think Nash hit the nail on the head. Like it's tough, but it's just sports, and
it's not just sports.
Like,
don't put the qualifier just on there.
But I mean, like,
it hurts.
I don't know. It hurts. It definitely hurt, and like you put so much work into it. What I do to put into it is different than what Nash does. But I still was like, it really stung. But I guess my mindset, which maybe is too glass half full, but like the next day I woke up and I had roommates and I got to go home to see my family, and I'm super, super like thankful that I have, I don't know, like you can like count your blessings, I guess. Like I have a family, I have friends, I have a fully functioning body. So I know it's like super like.
No, that's good. I think that being able to find a place of gratitude is a good way to deal with the emotions that come along with something that you're like, God, I just really wish that hadn't happened. Speaking of things maybe you wish hadn't happened, now the newest thing. So Coach Rob Dow leaving, going to Penn State. Yeah. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, we all love Rob. He's done an amazing job at UVM. I saw him in his office the other day, and he feels bad just because he's like we're his family. But I told him, like, look around you. He has the national championship trophy, conference trophies. Like he's done everything here. He's been here more than a decade. Like he's
set this team up really well.
A total catamount for life. So he should, like, we all wish him the best. I hope Penn State does well. I hope he does well. I have no hard feelings.
That's a true sportsman right there.
Yeah.
That's very good.
I have a lot of respect for that guy. So.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that those life lessons that obviously you've absorbed from this time on the team are going to serve you all well going into the next season. Thank you guys both so much for coming and talking to me about soccer and cooking. I'm glad everything is going well, and I'm wishing you lots of success.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
As always, Vermont, thank you for learning and exploring with me today, and thanks to the team that makes Across the Fence possible. I'm Amy Finley. This is Across the Fence. Come back and let's learn and explore again tomorrow.